Hello, true creators, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm doing this both on YouTube and on my podcast, so I want to introduce myself. My name is Allison Holly, and I am a sexuality teacher and an intuitive guide. And I have this really lovely podcast that I do called the True Creator Podcast. And a few weeks ago, when things started shutting down, things really started shifting. I had this idea. I felt very much that I needed to, I saw a lot of people that wanted to move forward into this new that we're creating, but maybe didn't quite know how. And a lot of our creative energy has a tendency, when we don't know how to move forward, it has a tendency to go into spinning in the drama. And so I wanted to provide inspiration for people to move forward and start creating this beautiful world that we're creating together. So I am starting to interview these amazing people. And today I'm interviewing Jenny, sorry, I always do that. I combine what I'm about to say. So I'm interviewing Jenny, and you are from Bliss Asana, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So hi, Jenny. You want to say hi and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I consider myself a life artist, basically living my life as much as I can to, embody the storyteller that I've always been since I was a young girl. So as a multidimensional creator, I am involved in a lot of different ways that I express myself. I'm an athlete, I'm a professional filmmaker, and I studied filmmaking at Ohio University and had received my master's degree in 2013 from Ohio University, and I became a certified yoga instructor in 2017. And so that's really how I'm currently kind of taking all of those things together and working with Bliss Asana, which is a yoga and self-discovery portal where you can really learn more about yourself. I teach, direct, film, and really put together all of the online yoga videos that are on blissasana.com. And I've really created that as a way to help people build their intuition and get to know themselves on a deeper level. And it's really fun. The music in the videos is fun. It's really rhythmic and flowing and creative. So it's, my hope to inspire other people to really embody their true selves, know that they're worthy, number one. And honestly, I see what I really feel like the joy in the work is that I see myself as a leader, because I know that I'm, not this like perfect person. No one is, of course. But I really feel like those imperfections that myself and others have are what makes us all so special and unique. And I think a lot of times we get caught up with thinking we're not good enough and that we're not worthy to go for the things or be what we want to be and live the life that we want to have. And so I'm just out here to say, you can do it. You can go for it too, whatever it is that you want to do. And even if there's nothing that you particularly want to do, you're good enough exactly as you are. And that's really what I'm about, and the joy in what I do comes from that.
I love that. I love that you delivered that, and you live it. So for people who don't already know you, I know you live it. You radiate it. It's so beautiful. And I love, a couple things. One, I originally approached you because I was sort of watching, I follow you on Instagram, and watching the energy shift, because that's like my game that I like to play, and just watching how everyone's moving through the changes, not from judgment, but just observing. And your message didn't change. And that is, I think, so profound. It really speaks to who you are, that you were already doing, you were already in that flow. And, the other thing you mentioned, the purpose, first, you're such a creator. You do all the aspects of your online yoga school. But you also really teach yoga in such a unique way, because you don't just teach the postures. You're really all about that full perspective of bringing people to know that they're worthy. and it's very apparent in the videos that I've seen. So I'd love for you to, I want to dive into more of that, but I kind of want to get a little bit of like your story. So what's your journey? What's your journey been like?
Yeah, well, I grew up in a really small town and in a big family, and so I received a lot of encouragement from everyone around me, which was really nice. Something I don't take for granted. I know everyone's had a different background, but for whatever reason, I was always a little bit of a more quiet person, a little more inward. I felt things very deeply. I still do. Now I understand that means I'm an empath. Cool. But back then, what do you think? You're just sad, which maybe. I had a lot of good things about my personality. I could be outgoing, but I also started off life very shy, very self-judgmental, very self-doubt, very no one look at me.
Mm.
And, I really think that my ultimate, like, if I can look back at it all now, it's like I've always been the underdog. Like, no one's really expecting too much because I'm not expecting too much. But there's this part inside of me that really did believe in myself. And when I was younger, I played sports. I played field hockey. I loved to write. I always loved to do so many things, as I do now. But I wanted to be a really great athlete. And I was like, there's no way, there's no way this is going to happen. But I, somewhere inside, just kept going for it. And, coaches, family members, friends, people always believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And so I was able to achieve and ultimately become a hardworking athlete so I could play sports. And that was like one way to kind of get confidence. And so, I moved through school. I got involved in videography really young. I went to college. And I, was kind of living my little high school dreams and playing field hockey in college and working for the news station and all the things that I wanted to do then. But,
That's a lot for high school.
yeah, well, I was in college by the time, it was all together. And, all along the way, though, I always had that sense of emptiness. I'd always put myself down. I was always proudly a negative person. That's what I call myself. Like, all that, just feeling like I'm not good enough. And anytime someone would give me a compliment, I'd be like, no, this is why it's not true. I'd, make jokes on myself. I mean, that was just how I was 24/7 all the time. And so, I still managed to get up and get to the college level that I wanted to. And I realized when college ended, that's when I kind of understood that everybody else was kind of hyping me up and I wasn't hyping myself up. So when I left college, I had such a sense of emptiness, no idea what to do, which a lot of people experience. And, just those feelings of, wow, like really not feeling worthy. Like, what do I do now? I can't get a job. I can't do this. I can't. That's all I would ever hear. And what really shifted and changed were a lot of different things. But I would say I took a trip to the Grand Canyon in 2010. And I was in the Masters of Filmmaking program then. But I was definitely still deep in the trenches of self-doubt and lots of unhappiness. And I went on the trip and I realized I was surrounded by all of this beauty, this beautiful place, the Grand Canyon, and I still was feeling the same way.
Wow.
And that's when I understood that it was my thinking, it was my thoughts. I kind of had already known that, but I turned the camera on myself during this experience and did a personal documentary. I even showed all my professors in grad school and they watched it and they were like, oh my God, like, is that even you? Because I was so mean to the people around me. I was like mean to myself. I'm crying on camera, but it was this exploration period of getting to know myself. And it was hard, it was seeing the darkest parts of myself. And I actually left and climbed out of the Grand Canyon up 10 miles by myself because I was ready to leave, being independent as I am. I left my whole group and walked up in the snow and walked out. And in a sense, as I was walking out, I think I was really leaving behind slowly and starting the process of leaving behind what I would call babyish and childish ways, old ways of thinking that weren't serving me. And I was starting to take back, my, I guess, consciousness of it all, because up until this point, I really wasn't making any changes about how I was treating myself. And when I got to the top of the Grand Canyon, it was almost like, okay, now I'm open. I think I'm open to start actually doing something about this and starting to not play small so much and actually call bullshit on this and understand like, no, if I didn't believe in myself, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to climb out of here. I wouldn't have been able to do half the stuff that I could do. And I'm tired of this narrative that I've been giving myself, and I'm ready to move past that.
It's so incredible hearing your story, Jenny, because you are not a negative person. And it's such like, it's so beautiful to hear the transformation. And I know other people are going to identify and be able to say, man, like I'm being negative too. And this isn't the only way that I can be. And I'm in
Right.
control of my life and my destiny and making things happen. It's so profound, you know, because when you tell the story, I can see it like, oh yeah, I can see that that's how you were, but you're not.
Right.
You fully transformed. So that's so beautiful. So what are some like shifting points in you know, from there up until now, like what's been going on?
Yeah, so from that time, it was a very slow journey, but I built a lot of confidence as a filmmaker. I made a documentary, a feature-length documentary on a small island community. It's called Pieces of Tangier, and it's about Tangier Island, which is a community that was really suffering and still continues to this day because their island is disappearing due to rising sea levels. So I actually lived and got to know the people in that community and directed the film, and you know, was able to graduate and get my degree based off of that thesis film. And that was, I think, a really transformational point for myself because I, you know, once again, directed, edited, filmed, you know, I like to do everything, had a little bit of help, but I had to get to know the community and have the confidence to talk to people and, you know, all of that stuff. I think that was really life-changing for me, is to put myself in that position. And it also taught me a lot about myself. I grew up in a really small town, and that island community was like way smaller than my town. And I took my small town for granted. Like I was one of those people, I was like, oh my gosh, can't wait to get out of here. You know, like I gotta go. And I realized if I could be happy living on that smaller island with 500 people and like 2 grocery stores and 1 restaurant, I was happy living there for the summer. I realized if I could do that, that I wasn't no longer dependent on my environment, but it was coming from within. And I was starting to recognize that. And that was an important growth step for me because it took a lot of the pressure off the external and it brought it back into the internal. And it made me realize that I kind of dictate the experiences that I have instead of just where I am and what I'm doing. So that was pretty big. Another really big thing that happened right after I finished, or right in the middle of making that movie, I was living in Ohio and I was, you know, not being very healthy because I was just trying to finish this movie. And this was well before I discovered anything about like health. I just had played sports. That was it. There was no other anything. And I was sitting there just drinking like Diet Coke, eating all the frozen foods. And I mean, I was just living that life, watching Walking Dead every night to get by in between editing. And one day I stumbled across the documentary Forks Over Knives, which is a documentary all about vegan and plant-based eating. And
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, why it's good for your health. And that was in 2013. And I'm telling you, like, I knew nothing about the importance of what you eat or I don't know where I was my whole life, but clearly not in that space at all. And it like blew my mind. I woke up the next day and threw everything out in my kitchen, and I became vegan the next day. Learned how to cook, learned how to do everything, and I never looked back. And it was cool because at that time, I mean, as you can imagine, with the things I was putting into my body and the thoughts that I was still continuing to have, I really hadn't moved totally past that by then at all. So the food shifted. You know, I lost a lot of weight, but it was really, like a lot of weight, but it was also the emotional weight that I lost because I was opening up to caring about myself now. Now I care about myself, and I'm even starting to care about the choices that I'm making, and I'm seeing the cause and effect and I'm caring enough to actually do these things that are good for me, not just saying, oh, that's good for you, that can stay over there. Like, no,
Right.
I'm actually taking this into my own hands, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe that. Like, it sounds so simple, but it's not sometimes. Like, I couldn't believe that the things I did actually could make a difference. And I just began to brighten up. I think that the self-definitions that I had of myself, like when I talk about being negative, it was just the story that I was telling myself. Like, even all along, I would joke around and have fun, but I was telling myself a tale that wasn't helpful and that wasn't even true. So, becoming more conscious about what I was eating, becoming more, quickly was moving into becoming more conscious about what am I telling myself, what behaviors am I doing, who am I spending my time with? And, over the next couple years, that was leaving behind relationships that didn't serve me, friendships that didn't serve me, developing friendships with people and relationships with people that were going in a different direction that I could look up to or that I could enjoy spending time with because we could grow together.
Yeah.
And just one more thing about it. It just manifested so many different things, and yoga came into the picture, but that came into the picture because we moved to Asheville, North Carolina. I met Brian, who's my partner now. We knew each other in high school, and by
Oh,
this
that's weird. I had no idea.
yeah, so we re-met in about 2014, and we had went to high school together. I graduated in 2003. So
Wow.
we hadn't really seen each other much since then, and we were just friends back then. And when we met, we were just like, we re-met. We were like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian is a conscious rapper, and like in high school, he was definitely a skater boy and not a conscious rapper. So when we met, he just inspired me so much because he was going for this really big dream that he had, and he had really transformed as a person and just was a bright light being, and being around him just influenced me to start to look outside of what I've already been doing and look into doing work that's more soul satisfying. And so I've always been a videographer. I film weddings, and we continue to do that today. But my true passion, I learned that I have other passions and I have dreams and I have a voice. And I learned that through watching him go for his music career. And so, when I found yoga, it was cool because we were living here in Asheville, North Carolina in the mountains, and we didn't really know a lot of people. And about a year or so into living here, I stumbled across a yoga community at Primal Studios here in Asheville. And I was just blown away by the style of yoga. I was seeing people kind of combining dance and yoga and deep core work and just the community. So I was really inspired and became certified in yoga because of that. And it just opened up a part of me, as I know you well know, through the physical embodiment of dance and movement, like with what you do and so many aspects of what you do. It's like it opens up this part of you that you either forgot about, didn't know that you had. It's almost like more of a childlike part of you. There's so many different ways you can describe it, but it's really that expressive part of you, that free part of you, that liberation where you're like, oh, okay, like this is me. Like I can be anything. I can do anything. And like there's no restrictions except that which I put on myself. So when I discovered yoga, that was a huge shift and transformation point for me because I became a little bit more extroverted. I began to engage with people, and becoming a yoga teacher, I mean, we could go on and on about how helpful that's been to me as a person because I'm expressing myself every time that I teach, and I'm saying my voice is important and I have something to share.
And it is, and it is. And it's interesting. I want to mention this. I'm just now thinking of this with someone like you who was more introverted from what you've talked about. And for someone like you to come into a place of teaching and leadership, it's like you understand how to bring people together. You really understand how to help each individual shine their light. And I think that's why what I've seen of you teaching yoga is so unique. It's because it's not about it's just got such a different feeling. I almost don't know how to describe it. It's, you
Yeah.
know, you're bringing people through an internal shift in shining their light. I mean, that's really what I see on an energetic level. While you're teaching, you know, yoga, that you know, everyone's seen yoga at this point.
Right, right.
But really, the energy that you bring to it is so. That's what I'm seeing. And just with you telling your story, it helped me understand. Oh, it's because you used to be in the background, and now you're helping other people do exactly what you've done, which is, hey, shine your light. Like, look at how
Yeah.
beautiful your unique light is. So it's
Yeah.
really beautiful. So, and also I want to mention your incredible partner who I met first, and that's how I met you. And you light up every time you talk about him. So I think that's super wonderful. You two are so absolutely what a relationship is in the higher form, which is inspiring together, you
Oh,
know? So yeah,
thank you.
I just wanted to bring to light that because you were like lighting up every time you
No,
talk about.
I do, because I'm like, I always was like, is he real? Is he like a boy unicorn? Like, I don't know. That's basically how I felt ever since, yeah, 2014.
Mm, so beautiful, so beautiful. And do you mind, since we're recording, um,
Yeah,
he's your twin flame. Is that the connection that you two have? Yeah,
yeah.
really beautiful. Really beautiful. So, can you talk about Bliss Asana a little bit?
Yeah, so Bliss Asana, there's a lot of ways that I get to share this with people. One of the easiest things is I have a YouTube channel. So I have a lot of videos on there, a lot of short videos for people that want to get involved with yoga, but you don't necessarily have an hour. YouTube is the spot. So I've got all types of 15, 20, and 30-minute videos on there, ranging from like yoga for empaths to, just simple feel the bliss yoga, just a simple vinyasa. And so the style of yoga is really rhythmic. So we like to move to the music. I incorporate a lot of indie rap, but very conscious artists and different styles as well, from electronic to soul. But I include Brian's music, my partner Brian Divisions, and lots of other artists. So I enjoy that. I get to kind of lift them up as well and include their amazing music. And there are messages of light come through while you're doing yoga. So it's not all just dependent on myself, but it's the music, it's the scenery. I love to film in beautiful nature locations that can kind of transport you out of your living room or wherever you are into somewhere just a little bit more inspiring maybe than just the white walls or wherever you're at. And yeah, I like to make them quick, but also we always include self-discovery portion in the video. So, either a longer shavasana or throughout the class, we're focusing on a certain theme, whatever it may be. Could be rewriting your story, it could be opening your heart, anything from those themes. And so YouTube is one place where you can kind of test drive Bliss Asana, check it out, see if you like it. And I created an online yoga studio recently where there's over 30 to 40 videos on there, and these are including more of the bigger programs. Like I have a 21-day yoga and self-discovery program with Bliss Asana, and that takes you through 3 weeks of yoga, daily journaling, daily affirmations, and it's truly a self-discovery journey through past, present, and future self-awareness. And that is a part of the online studio, and it features 2 of my friends in the videos. So it's not just me, we're kind of in like a gang, if you will, a bliss squad.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get to kind of journey with us and all. That's what makes it fun. So yeah, there's about 5 workouts every week, and then journaling prompts every single day. And so I've had a lot of people take that and talk about how it was really nice to take those 21 days. Maybe some people it takes a little longer, but you look for it to be about 21 days, and you really just get to take some time to go within and to also, do some physical work as well. So it's a little bit of everything. And on the online studio, there's also a couple other programs. One's called Elemental Bliss, which I filmed in Costa Rica. Just recently went there, and we go through all 5 elements with 5 different videos, and they're filmed like in front of a waterfall, the beach, and different locations. And those are also, you know, under 30-minute videos, but that's a nice series if you want to explore your connection to the earth and to, you know, air, water, all the elements. There's also a running series on there and several single classes. So every month I add a couple different longer classes, 30, 40, or 50-minute classes on there. And that is like a subscription that you can subscribe to. And so really, you know, that's the main ways that it's available for other people to try. And the reason that I kind of got the idea was I've always wanted to create yoga online, being that I love making videos. But I mean, the hardest thing about making videos when you're, you know, I'm so used to making like these long documentaries and stuff. It's like the process is like 3 years. And I'm like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I like to see the quick turnaround too, you know, and now that I love to combine movement with it, it's just been a really nice way to bring together all the facets of, you know, who I am and what I like to do, what I've learned, and just bring them all together for people. So I started really working on this and bringing it together and filming it around this time last year, a little earlier. So it's constantly growing, and we have people joining the studio every day and checking out the YouTube videos. So it's been really fun just, you know, working on it and getting to embody all of these things that I've been exploring over the past several years.
Yes. And I think that's such a good background too for people to know, you know, who are watching these videos. Like, you did the whole thing. You came up with the concept and you directed and filmed, and that's really, it's really special. You know, I think it's inspiring in so many different ways, you know, so I love that. So you've got, I just want to recount that you've got Bliss Asana, and then there's subscription that people can do. There is also courses, and then some of the, you know, short accessible ones on YouTube as well.
Yes, yeah. So those are the 2 main ways. Just jumping on YouTube, nothing you got to do. Just go on there, type in Bliss Asana, it'll come up because there's literally nothing else spelled that way. So that's really nice, because a lot of times you go on YouTube and you're like, oh, can't find anything. And then the monthly subscription is how you access all of the programs and all of the videos that are, you know, a little extra special. And longer videos coming soon as well, like hour length and things.
I love that. I love that. And so you also have a little freebie giveaway that you're doing.
Yes.
So can you tell us about that?
Yes. So I'm offering 30 days free for anyone who's listening. If you're listening in the year of 2020, it's available anytime to honor in 2020. So what you'll get is 30 days free access to the Bliss Asana online studio. Wow. So as a true creator who's listening, you'll just kind of go to blissasana.com. You'll just kind of jump on. Boom. And you'll get to check out the studio, and there'll be a little link there to click. And so it's blissasana.com/true creator. And you'll just click the sign up link. You'll give us your little email, and we'll send you an email with the access to experience 30 days of free yoga. So you'll get to jump on the subscription and check out all the different programs like Elemental Bliss, the 21-day program, and all the different, you know, single classes. Wow. So that'll just expire, you know, right after you sign up 30 days later. And if you are interested in keeping going and being a part of it, you'll be able to just change the membership to actually a paying membership. It's only $9.99 a month, and that helps. Because it helps. It doesn't need to be super high for me, but it helps me to continue to keep making this content, not just for the subscription, but also for YouTube, to put in the time that it takes. It's really all I really need. I mean, I've been doing this my whole life. I've been doing videography for half my life, more than half my life, like how old I am. So, I mean, it's still a lot of work, but it's something that, you know, compared to doing like a documentary, this is like a lot easier, but it really does help to have people be a part of the subscription, and there is new content coming all the time. So if you are interested in moving forward, you can, but the freebie is just 30 days free, and you can hop on there and do all the the 21-day program or anything you want to do.
That's incredible, Jenny. That is such a good deal, like across the board, especially like 30 days right off the bat, no commitment, you know, getting into it, really letting yourself experience what that's like. Yeah.
Totally. I think we all deserve it. It's been an interesting year, and I think some of us might still be at home. I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but you know, you definitely deserve the 30 days no matter what you're going through. So definitely give yourself the opportunity to bliss up.
Yes. Thank you. So beautiful.
Yes.
I would love also at some point for you to have like people gathering in person to experience who you are.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Definitely would love to do some retreats and whatnot in the future. There's a lot of beautiful places here in Asheville, and I also love traveling to Costa Rica. So the future is definitely open to those in-person transformational moments that can happen too. But for now, we'll just meet you in your living room or in your pajamas, or we'll just meet you on wherever your mat is.
I love that. I love that. In your pajamas with you in Costa Rica. So gorgeous.
Basically.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I'm just going to recap the information. Your website is blissasana.com, and that's BLISSASANA.com. The gift is that /true creator, right? No dash or anything?
Yep.
Okay, so blissasana.com/true creator. And then what's your YouTube?
YouTube, you can either directly come to Jenny Bliss Asana, or I also have just Bliss Asana. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you said YouTube. I was giving you Instagram. Yes. YouTube is Bliss Asana Yoga. You have so many social accounts. YouTube is Bliss Asana Yoga, but if you just put in Bliss Asana, it's going to take you right there.
Awesome. Yes, and Instagram. Now we know.
My social security number is, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, totally. Thanks.
Giving you all the deeds.
You're amazing. Oh, Jenny, thank you so much for being here with us today and for sharing.
Thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing podcast. You're an amazing being, and it's been a beautiful time.
Same. What's that phrase? Namaste?
Namaste. I don't want to go. Namaste.
All right, so this podcast is going to be another 15 minutes, but you can tune out now. No, I'm teasing.
We'll speak forever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, love. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.